You are listening to the Earplug Podcast Network, a Fanboys Inc. production.
Can you dig it, nigga, sucker? Ooh, yeah!
We boo you because you're both a couple of world-class international a-holes.
Time to play the game.
Welcome
Well,
to the podcast. And Lewis,
What? What's the matter? What's the matter? You froze. Jack froze. What are you freezing for?
I'm back.
Did he?
Thanks.
What did you freeze? Did you freeze? You froze. Look at that. You froze.
I don't know. I
Why?
was yelling at you.
Why are you yelling at me? Why?
Because you're already
Why?
interrupting and you're only back for 1 minute.
I know. Why? Because I'm two belts, Lewis.
That's right.
Right
You're talking to Jack Two Straps, though, so watch yourself.
Yeah, but you ain't got no two straps. What two straps you got? See, now the Macho Man belt is. Leo, it's faded. It's faded. You don't see it. You don't see it at all. Look at the okay. Where you gonna strap with that? Anyhow, Jack, look at this. I got the shiny Angry Geeks Championship belt right here.
Loving it.
How you doing? Did you guys miss me last week? Yes, I think you guys did. I think you did miss me. We got people watching. Say hi. Join in the conversation. You know, Jack, I figured every week we talk wrestling. And yes, we got wrestling talk to talk about tonight. But we always venture off into the other world. I think that we should bring and let the two worlds collide. And what if professional wrestlers were actual comic book characters? They're real life superheroes. They're real life supervillains. They are in the rings. But what personalities are they? Who are they? Who do they remind you of? And why? Who is who? Like, personally, myself, Seth friggin' Rollins, the Joker. By all means, that cat is the Joker. His laugh, his everything, the way he moves, the way he acts, the way he dresses. Even back in the Shield days, Seth frickin' Rollins, to me, is the epitome of the Joker. What do you think? How do you feel about that? And Wolfie is in the house. Hey, Wolfie, and before we get started, before you answer that, Wolfie does have a question. Jack, you want to read that?
Yeah, Wolfie says, hey, guys, I have one question. Why would the WWE put the strap on the most boring person, Brock Lesnar, and put him up against the second most boring person, Bobby Lashley? I'll tell you
Because
what,
Drew is hurt.
we should talk
Drew
about
is.
that.
We will.
But I think Brock Lesnar, the only match I want to see is him against Bobby Lashley. So I'm going to give Brock a pass on this one. I think it's actually going to be a good match.
Yeah, and because Drew is hurt and Vince McMahon is firing everybody else and he doesn't know what to do and everyone else is quitting. That's why they're doing it right now. And because they haven't. What else are they going to do? What else? Who else do they have? That's why the sudden heel turn, face turn, rather, for Seth Rollins. They have no one for Roman as well, with Drew being out. So there you go. That is your answer for us, is because of Drew.
Yeah, I agree
Again,
with you on Seth Rollins, though. I think he's very much the Joker, as much as I think Roman Reigns is very much Doctor Doom.
I was thinking when I came up with this topic, I was trying to fit Roman everywhere, and Doctor Doom for Roman. Yeah, by all means, yes. Yeah, I could see Roman as Doctor Doom for sure. I never even put that there. What gives you your? I have my own basis, but what is your basis of Roman Reigns being Doctor Doom?
He's like the king of Latveria. He's got the Usos. He's the head of the table. He demands recognition. He needs validation from everyone. I mean, Doctor Doom is very powerful, can kick your ass, but he's also looking for you to kiss his boot, and I think that's what Roman Reigns is looking for.
Very good, very good. No, I would say the Wonder Twins, Wolfie. I would say the Neon Blondes, Danny Moe and Facade, are the Wonder Twins. They have great dynamics. They are the perfect tag team. Not brother and sister though, but I would definitely say the Wonder Twins are Danny Moe and Facade.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
that.
yeah, that's what I mean. They dress alike, they look alike. Um, they aren't related though, but definitely the Wonder Twins are Danny Moe and Facade. But getting back to Roman Reigns is Doctor Doom for sure. I think we can all agree that Harley Quinn is definitely Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, oh my God, please. I mean, they're broadcasting that one. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, you can just look at it, see it. Yes, for sure. Harley Quinn is definitely um, like Alexa Bliss all the way. Jim Cornette. Who would you say? Yes. Now I have a theory, Jack. I have a theory for Jim Cornette,
Okay, I want to hear
and
that. Wolfie says he sees Liv Morgan as Black Canary. That's kind of cool.
I don't know. Liv Morgan as Black Canary. Um, I was thinking. Okay, I was thinking more Magic from the X-Men, but Black Canary. Okay, okay. I think I can live with that. I think I can live with Black Canary.
So are we
Um,
just talking the physicality of them, or a combination of physicality and personality? Because if it's just physicality, Sting is the Crow. We know that.
No, physicality, look, everything. So let's bring everything out. And Neil says Alexa Bliss is his queen, and yes, Neil, we know that. And James says, nah, she is his queen.
Whoa,
I
people
think
are
we should
fighting
have
over
a.
Alexa Bliss.
I know we're gonna have a beat down here between James and Neil. Um, Come over to the Geek Lair, we can straighten that out. I no. It is. It's both. It's both. It's got to be physicality. It's got to be personality, and look. It has to be everything. I mean, like Seth Rollins, he has everything. The look, the physicality. He has the mentality. Everything. Roman Reigns, the same thing as Doctor Doom, and Wolfie. Oh my God, you cannot get any more
Oh,
blatant. I will let her know you said that. Thank you. Oh my! I will let my sister from another Mister know you said that. Wow. Um. So yeah, no, it has to be every. I'm tongue tied right now. It has to be everything. So Roman Reigns, Doctor Doom, Alexa Bliss, Harley Quinn. Uh, my God, thank you, Wolfie. Um,
could Otis be the Blob?
oh my God, yes, Otis can definitely be the Blob. Oh my, he has the strength, he has the look, he has everything. Yes, Otis could be the Blob. That is very, very good. Now, Jim Cornette, Modoc. Think
That's
about it. Think about it. It fits. Does it or does it not fit?
yeah, that's funny.
Yes, it does. And
Otis as Cannonball.
no, actually, Cannibal would be Ricochet.
Yeah, right. If anything, right.
Yes, it's if anything. Now, most people would think Ricochet as Daredevil or Spidey or Nightcrawler. No, not at all. Um, definitely Ricochet is Cannonball for sure. That 100%. And but yeah, Modoc for Jim Cornette.
That's funny. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
I mean the personality fits. The want to be everything, the want to be know it all, and it's just no, not at all, nothing.
I feel like there's somebody I'm overlooking right now, but we should have a really good Reed Richards.
Is there a
Like,
smart person in wrestling?
who's got gray temples? Like, there's got to be.
Good. Wolfie comes in and says, "If anyone is Nightcrawler, it's Rey Mysterio."
Yeah, 619.
Okay, all right, yeah, I could see Rey Mysterio as Nightcrawler. I was thinking more Daredevil, but definitely, um, definitely
Lewis, I'm telling you, I
Nightcrawler.
just came up with one that would be Marvel's best casting move if they ever make an Alpha Flight movie. John Silver as Puck.
Yeah, he looks the part. He acts the part. He's the right size. Yes, perfect. How about the Great Khali? Great Khali as um, Sasquatch.
Oh, that's
Am
good.
I right or wrong? And
Uh,
Shaky can be Wendigo.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
All
That'd be
right,
good. That'd be good.
that is perfect right there. Absolutely perfect. Now, of course, Triple H has to be Conan.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of assigned himself that role already.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot go anywhere without Triple H being Conan. Even King Conan. It's just he has to be. He has to be Conan for sure. Definitely. Now, you were talking earlier, Sting as the Crow. Do you really think that? Do you really think Sting as the Crow? I mean, he assigned himself as that. We all know about the lawsuit going back way back when. Do you still think Sting as the Crow?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just mean he plays the character, so that's the only reason I said that. I don't see him as the Crow. I mean, I think back in WCW days, he kind of played that dark, looming kind of goth character. So I suppose so. But I mean, nowadays, not no, I don't think so. Not in AEW's version.
Because nowadays I was thinking for the Crow, to be honest with you, Damian Priest.
Damian Priest is the Crow. I mean,
Yeah,
huh?
and Aleister Black is Mephisto.
Yeah, yeah, right. That would be good. Yep, I like that. Yeah, that's really good, man. I mean, I can't argue with that. You're hitting it on the head.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say? I mean, I think that Wolfie says I see Sting as kind of a Captain America or Winter Soldier.
Uh. Okay. Okay. I can see Sting as a Captain America type. And I actually see um Hogan as a U.S. agent only because he wants to be so much and fails, and everyone hates him. That's how I definitely see Hulk Hogan as that. Hulk Hogan for sure. Yeah, I mean, you think about it when John Walker first came out, he wanted to be so much, and all of us hated him so badly that Wolfie says he sees Hogan as Crossbones. Oh, that's
I'd be
just as
fine with
bad, but
that.
but perfect,
Yeah,
very perfect. And then let's get back to Ricochet. Ricochet can also be now. This one's gonna come right at you, Jack. Ricochet, Taskmaster.
yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, he
No,
looks like
seriously,
that.
what do you think about that?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You throw a costume on him, and the bottom line is he can copy anybody's fighting style, and Ricochet certainly seems cut out for that. So, yeah, he'd be good. I think Taskmaster's kind of a lot of people could possibly plug into that and make it work, but he's definitely a top candidate.
Okay. All right, now I'm doing all the talking here, Jack. Now we'll go on for this topic for a little bit more, but what you knew about this topic? I brought this topic up to you yesterday. Um, who is wrestling's dark side?
Oh, geez. Well, I was almost thinking about as we were talking, John Cena as an overly muscular Cyclops. He's kind of
Why?
got
Because
like
they
that
can't see him.
leader, like squeaky clean sort of thing going on, like Cyclops.
I cannot see John Cena past Peacemaker right now, especially after watching the first 3 episodes of that show.
Okay.
Have you watched it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my lord! It's yes, especially when you hear the word freedom. You'll never look at John Cena again the same. Uh,
Good. Good. I like that.
yeah, for sure. John Cena. No, I can't. I can't. I got to get John Cena out of my head for
All
sure.
right. How about Jade Cargill? When did you see her come out in her Storm outfit?
Oh my God, that was friggin' incredible. Yes,
That was really cool.
definitely. Jade is definitely Storm. She is the character. She's built like the character. If she gets a mohawk, she will be Storm. Aurora all the way. Um, Jade rather is definitely Storm. That definitely Storm all the way. I could see her as Storm. Um, who would you cast? Who would be wrestling's Hulk?
Oh man, I mean, you want to say Brock Lesnar right away, but there's got to be somebody just as good, if not better. I mean, Wardlow as kind of a hulkish
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's kind of a tough one because there's so many wrestlers who have kind of a look that you have to really think outside the box with a few of them. Like Darkseid, I'm not coming up with anybody for Darkseid. Walter, maybe.
Walter would be a good dark side. Actually, I mean, he's silent, he's huge, and he can decimate just about anyone. Wolfie wants to know where we see Taz and Natalia. Um, Taz. Taz. Where will we see Taz?
Taz is a tough one, because he's got to be a short character like Puck, and he wouldn't be Wolverine. That wouldn't work.
No, not at all. Not at all. Wolverine.
Yeah, you got to dig a
Um,
little deeper to find somebody like Taz. I don't know. I was actually trying to think of somebody who would be a good Penguin, and I'm thinking like Captain Lou. But,
the penguin just popped in my head for Taz. Because think about it. Think about this. The penguin is a badass. Okay, he is a judo master. He is a boxing. He's a pugilist. Okay, he runs a nightclub. He does have his minions around him, and he's a smart businessman. Okay, he can't take care of himself. Who not better than Taz? Taz is retired. Okay, but back in the day, he was a badass. That's what the Penguin is. Back in the day, he's a badass. He's retired. He surrounds himself, but he can still take care of himself. I think right now, Taz could be a good Penguin. He is a law abiding citizen. He's a businessman. Yes, he has a past. He's running the Iceberg Lounge. What are you going to do? I'm a businessman. You can't pin nothing on me. He has his lackeys to pin all his stuff on.
yeah, right. No, you're right. That could work. You know who I could see, and I don't know if we're going outside of AEW and
Oh yeah,
WWE.
no, by all means. We already did with the Neon Blondes.
Yeah, no, that's true. But like I could picture Bryce Donovan as a really good sentry, like with the hair flowing all over the place.
Okay, yeah, perfect. I wasn't even thinking the Century. Okay, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
For sure.
geez, I'm trying to think of a Reed Richards. I feel like there's somebody obvious that I'm not thinking of that's even got like the gray temples. I don't know why I'm not coming up with it right now.
Smart Mark?
Nah.
No, I mean, I'm only saying because the word smart too, but
Yeah.
I'm not really seeing a scientist for Reed Richards or the Invisible Woman either. Not at all. But I'm digging your choice as Otis as the Blob. That takes the cake right now, for sure. For sure. Paul Heyman. Who would you cast Paul Heyman as?
Well, he'd be a good Penguin too.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, he's another one. Right
Yeah,
on.
yeah, he'd
Right.
be my choice. I think now that we pulled him out of the hat, Paul Heyman would be my Penguin. Um, Jeez, man, wow, this is a tough one because it I was thinking about like bald people who would be, like Lex Luthor, and I'm just not coming up with anybody who quite has the personality that fits that character. Brian Rose says I think Alice Eve should be Invisible Woman.
Okay.
I don't think I know who Alice Eve is.
Okay. Wolfie says Paul Heyman as the Mad Hatter.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah, that's very good.
um, Maybe like I don't know if he's too big, but like what if Lance Archer was Spawn? Spawn you can't really see too much of his face, but he's got to have that kind of menacing stance. And Lance Archer has some of that. Um, Maybe Spawn's not the best choice. You can't really see his face.
Okay.
Sorry, I just like Spawn.
Get it?
Well, how about Sammy Guevara as Robin?
As Nightwing.
Yeah, because he's kind of sidekicky with Chris Jericho and that whole
Yeah.
group.
Yeah. All right. Sammy Guevara as Nightwing for sure. That I can dig that. I can definitely dig that. Yeah, Sammy as Nightwing, he would be the perfect Nightwing for sure.
Okay.
The
Hmm. Man, we've had some good comments from our listeners too. I'm trying to think. Like, I really want to find Reed Richards. I feel like it's right in front of me and I don't see it. But I don't know if anybody thinks of Reed Richards. Who in pro wrestling is Reed Richards? There's got to be somebody, right? I mean, am I crazy? There's somebody who should be jumping out at us but isn't.
I don't know. I really don't know. Now, you're gonna say, oh, of course, it's obvious, but Shotzi Blackheart as Tank Girl.
Right. I mean, another self-cast character. Yeah.
Yes, I mean for sure. Shotzi definitely as Tank Girl for sure. Um, Now Johnny Gargano, excuse me, Wolverine.
It's not Harry.
But he can move. He's the right size. I think Johnny would be Johnny Wrestling for sure. Okay, all right, strike that. Strike that. Johnny, not Wolverine. Not Wolverine. My good friend, my good buddy, Champa as Wolverine.
Yeah, there you go. I like that way better. Little hair
Okay.
transplant and he's in.
Yes, there you go. Um,
Wolfie says, just for a look of Reed Richards, LBJ, but that is just a look.
JBL.
Oh, JBL. Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think that's what he wants. JBL.
okay. Just for the stature, but science not really. Yeah, I don't think he's a big science guy, personally.
No, actually, he is. He's a financial wizard.
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with science, but he might be a financial wizard.
Okay, I don't know. How about Ron Simmons as Luke Gage?
Ron Simmons is Luke Cage. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he'd fit the bill, I suppose. Um, Jeez, man. Huh.
Why are you hung up on the Fantastic Four tonight?
I'm not. I mean, I think the thing is easy. Reed Richards just seems like one of those classic characters we should be able to find an archetype for.
I don't know. When I think Reed Richards, I think of a smart guy. Okay,
Yeah.
a smart, skinny guy. I don't see any professional wrestler as a smart, skinny guy. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I'm looking at. All right, and Wolfie says Ron Simmons as Steel.
Oh, I like him better as Steel.
Oh, okay. All right. I was thinking more Devontae's as Steel, but okay. Ron Simmons as Steel is good. Um, I'm not casting. I'm not seeing anyone as Reed Richards. I just don't.
If
Not
Kevin Nash wasn't so tall, maybe he'd be a good candidate. But that doesn't really work physically. He's got
for
the
what?
great.
Reed Richards?
Yeah.
No, 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 not at all. I would. No, not
I'm
at all.
desperate to find Reed Richards, and it's not happening.
Not no 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 not at all. Not at all. Now, see, I thought this was going to be an easy topic, but
Oh, we've come up with a
it
lot. I think we've got a lot of good ones.
for sure, for sure. Now, who would for uh another villain, Doomsday? Who would Doomsday be?
JTG,
Ooh, for sure,
Scott,
for
yeah,
sure.
Scott
Scott
Hall.
Hall's that's kind of racist. Wolfie comes in saying Scott Hall has vibe, and that yeah, that's kind of yeah. Um, I would definitely JTG as Doomsday for sure. So who would the World of Wrestling Superman be?
I mean, Cena could fit Superman. Cena could. I mean, I know you're having a hard time with Peacemaker, but
I am. Once you watch the Peacemaker, you're gonna be like, oh my god, no, this man, no. You're all of John Cena's la 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 is gonna go right out the door.
okay. Well, hey, John, how about Kurt Angle as Lex Luthor? Could we do that?
You could, in your mind. In your mind. In my mind, I can only see Kurt Angle eating cookies with a little cowboy hat on his head.
Oh,
So, yes, I can't get that. No, every time I think Kurt Angle, it's the little cowboy hat. No, 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 no.
how about MV
Mm.
Young as Bizarro?
Okay,
He would look weird in like cracked white skin, like a backwards Superman costume. His hair's
okay,
all weird, yeah.
okay,
He's just one of those guys who comes off as being kind of on the edge, and Bizarro, sometimes has that just got out of bed sort of backwards vibe going on.
okay. I can definitely, I can see that. I can see that. Okay, Jack, one last one, and then we are off to talk straight wrestling. Um, who would you cast as wrestling's Thanos?
I mean, those characters like Thanos and Darkseid are just tough to cast. I mean, Walter's
Okay,
just the guy who comes to mind because the physicality of him and being so ominous.
okay, all right, fair enough. Wrestling's Lobo.
See, I thought Damian Priest for Lobo when you initially brought
Really?
him up. Yeah, because he's got that
Why?
hair. He's kind of like the partying badass. He's big. He's a tall dude. He has that stature. I could picture him with a cigar in his mouth.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Jack, what kind of wrestling news that we got going on this week? What is new? We all know about Mufasa Ali asking for his release. So
Mustafa
what is
wants his release. Yeah, who could blame him, right?
I mean, well, the guy we had Retribution. It looked like it was going somewhere, and then it fell apart 2 weeks later. Everyone from there was just oh, excuse me, going around. It was just a great idea that turned stupid quickly. I do have a prediction for the Royal Rumble. I'm going to bring that up in a little bit. But give us some news, give us some predictions, and let us know what's going on in the indie scene before I get to my Royal Rumble prediction. My Royal Rumble prediction is yes, Lobo would be Macho Man for sure.
Yep, that
For
fits. That
sure.
fits. So we got
Um,
how in wrestling, and whenever someone's away for a week or two and they come back, it's like, oh my God, he's returned, and they pull that nonsense. Well, there
mhm,
actually is a meaningful return coming up on AEW Dynamite this week, and it's John Moxley.
mhm. Yep,
So
fresh out of
that's
rehab.
cool. Yep, that's cool to see him back. I mean, GCW, he's going to be appearing for them along with a lot of other people who We haven't seen like Leon Ruff is going to be doing some work for GCW. So they've actually scooped up quite a few of WWE's releases, and there were a bunch. We had like 100 of them. So I think
Yep.
we're going to have more in the near future, unfortunately. Roderick Strong is going to be wrestling Walter tonight. Maybe it's the final squash, and then Roderick Strong is out of WWE. Unfortunately, there's probably another round of releases, and Roderick Strong is one of the few of the quote unquote old school, which I would not consider him, who remains. And I believe we're going to be seeing your buddy Tommaso Ciampa and Pete Dunne called up to the main roster.
They already were. They already were. I saw them at Mohegan Sun.
They've been
I
touring
told.
with the main roster for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you saw them one of the nights. They've been doing it every night. They're on main event. I think this week's main event, you'll see them. So, they're kind of like having a soft debut on the main roster this week.
Okay.
But,
All right.
what are they going to do with him? What's Tommaso Ciampa, on the main roster? He has dyed his beard. I guess they want him to look younger because that's what the people seem to want, right? They want younger guys or something.
Yep, but I mean, they're misusing Finn Balor right now. They are pushing everyone over Finn Balor, so they're going to do the same thing.
Austin Theory just beat him.
I know, but why? And there's rumors going around that Austin Theory is going to be in the final 5 of the Royal Rumble. Come on.
I like Austin Theory. I really liked a lot of his indie work, but he's not ready for that at all. Wolfie says, Jack, have you heard anything about what is going on with MLW and any chance of them returning to TV? Yeah, I think they're doing a taping in Dallas on Saturday this weekend. I don't know how many weeks they're taping, but I know, again, I can't talk about sources, but there are some people in all the companies who we actually have gotten to know. And it sounds like there's a little uncertainty over there. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I do know there is a taping coming up. So yeah, you'll be seeing more MLW very soon. And I think that it's, let's see, who is it now? Matt Cross against TJP, I believe, is one of the matches they're taping this weekend. And that will be a banger.
Okay, cool. My booking. Alexa Bliss is making her return, and we all see the things online on Monday Night Raw, things like that. She's going to the therapist. She's talking to the therapist. Obviously, she still has her powers because she's exhibiting those powers during the vignettes at the therapy sessions. You've seen that the things moving back and forth, and she's using her powers.
Right.
This is my thought. Charlotte Flair has entered the Royal Rumble. She has stated if she wins the Royal Rumble, she will pick her opponent. My booking for the Royal Rumble, Charlotte will win the Rumble.
Nope.
Listen. Can you hear it? Listen. Can you hear it?
I'm going to remind you of this.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you called all the winners for the Royal Rumble. See?
So
I'm going to remind him of this episode, and I'm going to tell you who's going to win the women's Royal Rumble.
Okay, so I'm saying this is my booking. Now, of course,
Okay.
you know that Nick and Vince and John are not going to do what I want, but Triple H will.
Okay, so this isn't a prediction. This is if you could book it.
Exactly. So Charlotte will win the Rumble, but then gets attacked by Alexa Bliss and embarrassed. In the main event at WrestleMania for the women's title, Alexa Bliss returning to wrestle Charlotte Flair. And then Alexa becomes finally the WWE Women's Champion.
Wow, that would be an awfully quick ascension, wouldn't it?
Yeah, she deserves it, for crying out loud. She carried a women's division on her back for 2 years until Charlotte came back and won the belt, and Becky, who can no longer be called the man because now she's big time Bex, but for sure. But that's I mean, that is smart booking. That's what the people want. Alexa's healed. She's coming back. That's it. I mean, the place would go bananas. Think about it. The place went nuts at WrestleMania when she did the whole thing with the blood coming off of her head. And we all, Jack, you and I were sitting on the couch next to each other. We both stood up when that happened. And then we were dumbfounded when they cut the camera.
Yeah, I agree with
It,
you.
it's money. It's money,
But
and
I think that there's two things to look at here. First of all, as is we like to say in AEW, you got to give the people what they want, and they're not going to do that because that's the
I
opposite
know
of how WWE books. So they will not give the people what they want. That's not happening. I think what you're going
exactly.
to see, and I'm going to give you the prediction right here: the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble is going to be Bianca Belair, and she is going to challenge Becky or Big Time Bex, formerly known as the Man, at WrestleMania because they do have unresolved business from that whole mess. What was it at SummerSlam where
Yeah,
Becky came
yeah, yeah.
back and squashed her in 5 seconds, something ridiculous. So that's going to be the bill. That's the best they can do to pretend they did some long term booking. So that's going to be WrestleMania.
Okay, Wolfie says he wants to see Mickey James win. The Forbidden Door has been open, and now with that Forbidden Door being open, with Impact now cross promoting with WWE, my favorite, my breakout star of 2022, Jordan Grace, will show up in WWE and shut everybody's mouth. That's what
I
I
would
want to see
love
happen.
to see that happen, but it's not.
Oh my god, I want her. I would love to see her grab Charlotte Flair and twist her into a pretzel.
That'd be
That's what I
great.
want to see.
Oh, I'd
Oh,
love
wouldn't
to see
it? Wouldn't it be for her just to grab her and just that? It would be perfect. And just imagine Becky Lynch. I mean, Becky Lynch trying to grab Piper. Excuse me, Dewdrop, and trying to manhandle her, and Piper just throwing her to the ground. Imagine her trying to do something like that to Big Mama Pump. It ain't gonna work.
that. No way.
Because she can outpower both of them and outclass both of them in the ring. Now I'm talking about Jordan Grace, and Wolfie comes up and no, Tessa Blanchard, no, she's toxic.
No, they aren't touching
No,
her with a 10-foot
then
pole. No way.
nobody wants to touch her with a 10-foot pole. She's stuck down in AAA forever until
Yeah,
she,
yeah.
yeah.
Get their act
I,
together.
yeah, I don't think she would, even if she gets her act together. Do you think Tessa's blackballed for life?
No, definitely not. But there's going to be a grace period for sure. No pun intended on the Grace and Jordan Grace, but
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, there's no chance you're going to see her in 2022. But beyond that, I think we could. And let's be clear, Mickey James, as cool as it would be for her to win the belt, definitely won't because WWE certainly isn't going to put over another company's champion over their own performers. Will they give her a good showing? They sure as hell owe it to her, but she's not winning.
Especially after the trash bag thing.
Yeah. Oh, there's no chance. But she really does deserve a good showing, and I hope that's what she gets. I think we still have 9 entries that are surprises. It was funny when people were fake outraging around, oh, WWE were already let us know we love surprises. Okay, no, they didn't. There's already like 9 people left. There's plenty of surprises. We don't know who's going to show up. But even if Jordan Grace showed up as a surprise entry in the Royal Rumble, dude, I'd pop so big for that.
Oh, I would too. I mean, I was saying to Rose, I'm like, okay, they announced Mickey James as the knockout champion, blah, blah, blah. And the second I saw that, I was like, the Forbidden Door is open. That means Jordan could show up. And I was like, holy moly. If she shows up, not true fans will know who she is. And she would come to that ring and just blow everybody away.
Yeah,
And
I mean, wrestling fans would love that. Wrestling fans would also like to see Moose against Roman Reigns or, Moose
oh,
against Bobby Lashley. Problem is,
hmm
nobody knows who Moose is in the WWE universe. So I
hmm
don't think that's going to happen, despite, fans who are more well rounded, who kind of know the indies and are familiar with all the different companies, know that that would be awesome. But I don't think that the WWE audience would get it. I think people would kind of be silently watching Moose run down to the ring and be like, who's that?
well, they were the same way when Rhino came out. And immediately they were schooled onto who Rhino was. Not just big horse face looking guy. I mean, Rhino had a big chin, big forehead. He looked like a chromatic man. And until Edge and Christian get the Rhino, They were just he was just like a guy, a stocky guy, but then people loved him, especially with the Blue Meanie as well.
Yeah.
No one, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh, that guy, that guy. So it just takes one person, one moment, and you could become a household name. And I
Also,
think
Deanna
a good,
Purrazzo, imagine her coming in, and she was in NXT briefly. Nobody seems to know who she is in WWE, but again, real fans seeing Deanna Purrazzo running in there.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Man, I mean, the Rumble is going to be the Rumble was always the most exciting thing, um, out of all the WWE pay per views, or what did you call it now? Premiere event?
Oh, premium events. They're no longer pay-per-views.
Yeah, premium event. The If you remember going back to the original Royal Rumble and then the 89, 90, 92, where you used to see the talent go over to the lottery and pull out the Easter eggs and look at the numbers, and the way they did it, the way they presented it was you saw what number who yeah what yes so what numbers they came out. It was fantastic. Now I said this to you before, and I even proved it to you. The Royal Rumble ring used to be lower to the ground than all the other rings. It was lower. Remember I pointed that out.
You did point that
The
out.
Yeah, and the Rumble was always more exciting, and the Rumble had no other matches. The whole entire event was the Rumble. Think it was the '89 Rumble. All it had was the Ultimate Pose Off, which
Oh,
was Rick Rude against the Ultimate Warrior, where they had the Jimmy, and the Warrior got smacked across the back of the head with that
so boring.
because
So boring.
it slipped out of Rude's hand.
Yeah.
And then Hogan ended up winning the Rumble, the champ. Now, that's another thing. Charlotte Flair said, I am going to be the only champion in history to enter the Royal Rumble. No, you weren't. You're not. You are not the only champion in history, stupid. Because when Savage was the champion, he was in the Royal Rumble. When Hogan was the champion, he was in the Royal Rumble. You're not they need a historian to help them write their dialogue, and they need a historian to help their talent not sound stupid to a real fan.
Well, she might have been
You,
boring. She might have just flubbed the line.
I don't know, but I'm like sitting there going, what the hell is she talking about? She's not the only champion. Because
Right.
Hogan won it 2 years in a row as champion. What are you talking about?
If only her father could teach her a thing or two about history of. Oh,
I know. I know. And Wolfie says you did not want to pull number one. No, you did not want to pull number one. Not at all.
Mysterio, right? Wasn't Rey Mysterio? Didn't he win pulling number one?
Oh, Ric Flair. Ric Flair.
Ric Flair did. That's how he won the belt, right? Wasn't
That's
that
how we won the belt. Because if you remember right, that was what, the 91, I'm going to believe. 91 or 92. Flair came out of the Rumble and he was wearing the butterfly robe. He was pissed. He had the look on his face, so mad. That was when they didn't play music back then. Only number one and number two had music. The '89 Royal Rumble, it started off with Axe and Smash and Demolition.
Oh, that was great. That's right.
To prove a point that, hey, there is no allies here, and Axe and Smash, they went at it. When Flair came out, the place absolutely went nuts because Flair just came out and he was mad and he was stomping his feet, and he lasted that whole time to win that title. Shawn came in at number 2 to win the title. That's how he got his shot against Big Daddy Cool Diesel at WrestleMania in Hartford, which was WrestleMania 11. That's how Shawn came in at number 2, I believe.
Is that where you met Stone Cold Steve Austin? Was that the story?
No, that's where I ran into Piper.
Oh, Piper. Oh, okay.
Literally walked into Piper. I turned around and Piper was right there. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I met. I was at FanFest that whole weekend, uh, and Triple H was actually standing in the corner all by himself. Nobody was bothering him. Nobody was talking because that's when he was terrorizing. He just
Yeah.
came in
Right.
from WCW, just signed, standing in the corner, no one talking to him, and you just walk over to him. Hey, how you doing? Hi. Hi. Very humble back then, and just whatever you know, and it was just the Royal Rumble was always fantastic, and now the Rumble is the main event of the night. It's short, and it's not the main event no more. Now they have title matches. Why?
Well, and there's two.
Why do you? I know, and there's no need for it. The Royal Rumble should be the actual match. And now you have a women's Royal Rumble and you have a men's Royal Rumble. Fine, give them each an hour or an hour and a half and have some crappy stuff and just have the Royal Rumble matches. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. I
I
mean,
think they
if
just
you
figure
go,
people don't have the attention span anymore.
is it because of this? Is it because of this?
Well, yeah, of course. That's why everyone thinks they have ADD and ADHD. Not that those things aren't real and valid and all that, but I mean, the bar is set pretty low to tell somebody they have ADD at this point. And of course, if your brain is seeing images change every 1.2 seconds on TV or video games or whatever, no kidding, you can't operate in the real world where things aren't changing constantly. So, there's something to be said for that. But I think that's a big part of why they have to feel like things have to keep moving and changing, or else people just get bored and shut it off.
Well, see, now, wasn't the Royal Rumble every 2 minutes another man enters the ring?
Yeah.
That was back in the day, every 2 minutes. And that was exciting. Once that countdown started, the whole arena. Now think about it, though. Think about it. We just talked about this off camera. When live events now, they're pushing the ring back, they're shortening the ringside seats to make the arenas look fuller. It could be because of the pandemic. Could be because the ticket prices are going through the roof.
Yeah.
It could be because a number of different things, or the product is getting stale, or the product is not getting out of stale. It's just the people behind the product are out of touch with their audience.
Yeah, I mean,
And
let's think about what's happening on Monday Night Raw, right? So we've got this consistent formula that obviously doesn't work and nobody wants to see. So we've got 2 minute, 3 minute matches. There's no time for anybody to really develop any sort of storytelling. We've got champions getting pinned nonstop and looking weak, just like Kevin Owens pinned Damian Priest last night. Made 0 sense and nobody wanted to see it, but they keep doing it. I don't know what to say. I mean, I guess the philosophy is, well, at the pay-per-views, that's where you get to watch the 10, 20-minute matches. And then on Raw, we'll give you the matches, but you only get 2 or 3 minutes, which to me is just, think about, I haven't done this, but I think it'd be interesting one time if we actually kept track of how much actual in-ring action there is in a 3-hour show. I'd have to be willing to say it's around a half hour. What do you think?
okay, we can time it.
Yeah. I mean, that would
We
be
could
interesting.
we excuse me. We could time it. Wolfie come back in with another comment, and what does he say?
He says, but
Ooh.
still, the Royal Rumble does not need any more. It was awesome just seeing this crazy match. Yeah, I mean, the Royal Rumble is cool. I don't think there's any problem with having other matches. I do think as well when they're competing with AEW and those guys are loading up every card with 8 or 9 matches that are huge, it's not a bad thing to say, hey, we got 3 or 4 matches and they're all going to be bangers and you want to make sure you tune in to see them.
Oh, agreed. And I get Wolfie's point. But the Royal Rumble, I mean, it was everyone's favorite. Just like the Survivor Series. Why are they calling it the Survivor Series? It's no longer the Survivor Series.
Oh, dude, it's like 205 Live. Isn't 205 Live? And it hasn't been for months. I don't know why that show's still on. The Survivor Series, to me, like, that was the one last thing that I really, truly loved with the pay-per-views because it had a true identity, just like the Royal Rumble should. And, as you've mentioned, it's morphed a little bit through the years. But to ruin Survivor Series is almost, I thought it was almost impossible until I saw them do it over and over. I don't get it, man. That's a pay-per-view that should be a no-brainer. Like, here's like a celebration of wrestling where you put together matches that you don't normally see, but they didn't get it. It was really bizarre. And I hope they're coming back to that a little more. We'll see what happens this year. Maybe it'll be WrestleMania Survivor Series, like WrestleMania elimination match that I guess they're doing in Saudi next month. So I don't know what's going on there. Wolfie says, that is because they keep pushing people that do not get over. Kevin Owens rarely has gotten over with the crowd. They keep pushing Cesaro and he never gets over. I think Kevin Owens
no,
is pretty over.
yeah, and Cesaro is definitely over with the crowd. He's just not over with the company. Cesaro comes out, the people love him. I mean, they go nuts for Cesaro. It's just the front office are sour on him. They just don't like whatever. That's what it is. When Cesaro comes out, they just go bonkers. When he came out at Mohegan, the place went nuts. Even they do a thing at live shows where show us your signs. They have, when the cameras go off the air, they do beard cam, that, like, you have kiss cam, they have beard cam, glow cam, this, that. They have signs and they have people holding up signs and they'll read your signs. There was tons. You have signs for Drew, signs for acknowledge me, signs. They have Cesaro signs in the crowd. So Cesaro is over. It's just at the main office, they're like, he's not marketable. He'll bring people in. Oh, he's not marketable. We can't do nothing with him. That's why he doesn't have an elite figure. He has an action figure, but not an elite figure. He's not marketable. Cesaro doesn't have a T-shirt.
He's a guy I don't get how they've screwed up so many times. Like the King of Swing, they had so many cool things.
Yes,
he's doing so much amazing work in the ring. Like, how in the world have you not figured out how to make this guy a huge moneymaker?
But that's the thing. If they let people like Cesaro be themselves, they would. But they don't.
Yep, you're right. 100%.
They don't. They're like, oh, no, he can't be himself. He cannot. Why? Because then we won't own him. We need to make money off of him. That's what it is. That's what it is. And Keith Lee himself said it. Keith Lee said they wanted his name because none of all the other names would have worked for Keith Lee, but they wanted Keith Lee's name, and he said, no, you're not making money off my name.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So no, you're not making money off my name. And it's really true.
Well, I mean,
very true.
While we're at this, let's just dispel a couple of rumors that I'm hearing. And actually, somebody was telling me this afternoon. I ran into one of our listeners, and they were like, "Oh man, Cody Rhodes is going to be one of the surprise entrants at the Rumble."
Yeah, he's a free agent.
He's not. You're not going to see Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble. There's no way.
Okay.
Let's think about what's happening here, because AEW, there is no way Cody Rhodes wants to burn bridges with AEW after all the work he's put into this and where he's gotten in his career, to go back to WWE to be powerbombed through a table by mid-carders within 2 months.
Well, plus it said Cody Rhodes is a mid-carder. I mean, mid-carder. Excuse me. Is a free agent, but he's also a shareholder in AEW. Am I correct?
That's my understanding. I'm not an insider. Yeah, but my understanding is there's no chance he's going to screw up this AEW deal.
I don't think so either. I don't think that Cody Rhodes would do that because he's definitely. Well, no, and he's a shareholder in his own company. So I don't think so. I
wouldn't hold your breath on seeing any AEW people show up. John Moxley's not showing up. There isn't going to be a Shield reunion. I mean, all these things that people are kind of throwing out.
I was surprised they show Moxley on television WWE television for crying out loud. I was like, oh my God. Now let me get back to the sign thing. While we were there, they were holding up signs and they were reading signs. Oh, the Scottish Warrior. Oh, they acknowledge me. Oh, Mohegan acknowledges Roman Reigns. And there was a Jeff Hardy sign next to one of the signs they were reading, and they jumped right over the Jeff Hardy sign. It was so funny. The guy was holding up a sign. They read this sign here. Then there was Jeff Hardy in the middle, and then a sign here. So they read like Joe's mom, Joe's mom, and then it read Pete's mom, and it missed. They didn't read the Jeff Hardy sign. It was like tremendous. I was laughing.
And I'm going to make a really unpopular statement. You know how I feel about Jeff Hardy in his current stage, and I'm a huge Hardy Boys fan. Love what they did, and hate that their reputation's gotten tarnished by a few things. But Jeff Hardy, I really hope does not become all elite. At the very best, I'm hoping we see him reunite with Matt Hardy. Everybody gets to see their Hardy Boys match, a one time only, and be done with that.
Well, I tell you what, Jeff Hardy is in a hell of a lot better shape than Matt Hardy. He looks like he's in a heck of a lot better shape than Matt Hardy. I personally, I'm really hoping that the rumors I've been hearing are true, that he faked the whole thing so he could become all elite. I hope that is true. But I don't know. I mean, I hate to see anyone who works so hard to fall off the wagon. And I really hate to see someone that you thought was working so hard to fake it, to get everyone's respect, just to fake it and throw things away.
I mean, it could
that
be food poisoning too. I mean, let's be clear. Like we were talking about this before a few weeks ago on the podcast that there were rumors that he pooped his pants. I mean, we saw. I almost called him Christian Casanova. What do they call him on NXT now? Oh my God, he was wearing the white trunks and
wearing the white trunks and he had a skid mark. Yes,
it was more than a skid mark too. And he unified the belts against Roderick Strong. I'm so sorry, I'm spacing on what they call him in NXT now, but Christian Casanova, who's awesome. Like, love his work. I felt so bad for him. Like, oh my God, this is the worst. He's having like potentially one of the biggest matches of his career. And, he just must have gotten hit really hard or something happened. But, again, that can happen. Jeff Hardy might legitimately have had reasons why he was sluggish that night. I don't want to assume that he fell off the wagon. I mean, it's easy to assume that. Mm-hmm. Let's hope that wasn't what it was. But for whatever the reason, it'd be pretty stupid to walk out of WWE at this point, unless you just truly hate where you are, to think that you're definitely going to be given a spot at AEW.
Yeah, true. But I mean, he was performing well in WWE, and the crowd responded to him. The talent responded to him, and the guys were rallying behind him, and they weren't saying what it was and what it wasn't. So I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. Well, speaking of time, we're running out of it. So I want to make sure before we sign off, we let listeners know, especially if you're in the New England, if you're in the Northeast area, there's a really cool show, big card happening on Friday night in East Hampton, Massachusetts. I believe the bell time, 7:30. Pro Wrestling Grind has got a really big talent lineup. We're going to see Ava Everett against Davian, which is going to be a great match. JD Drake is going to be there. We see him a lot on AEW. I've actually never seen him wrestle live, so I'm looking forward to it. And next week's guest right here, live next week on Faces and Heels podcast with Louis Perry and myself, we've got Iron Rip Bison, and he's going to be going up against Warhorse this Friday night in East Hampton, Mass. And we've seen Warhorse all over the place, including AEW. So that's going to be an awesome match. And there's a ton of other. We got Alec Price, who's going to be there, the Limitless Champion. A ton of talent. MSP is going to be on the show. So Travis Huckabee. We got PPV is going to be there. Logan Black, another friend of the show, is going to be there.
King of Chaos. Happy birthday, brother.
That's right. Yeah, I just wished him a happy birthday. I got a little Wolverine drawing I'm going to be handing off to him on Friday. So big show happening. If you're in East Hampton, Massachusetts, it's pretty crazy. We got a big show happening on Friday night. So if you're around, come check that out. And then next week, if you weren't there, we're going to be talking to Rip Bison, and I'm sure we'll get a little recap of the show.
Jack, tell everyone about your Patreon.
Yeah, come check out my Patreon. As a matter of fact, there is currently artwork of Iron Rip Bison up there that no one else has seen yet. There's going to be, I got the little studies I did, the pencil art for the next piece is there. The inks and colors are coming next. So if you're into supporting the arts, you like comic book art, artists like me, pro wrestling, superheroes, check out my Patreon. Just search Jack Purcell. I'm right there. And for $5, you can check out a ton of cool stuff. I am going to be announcing the dates for the Malice and Mistletoe 9-page story. There's already a 2-page preview up there without the lettering. You can see it bare naked. So you can see it in its finished form coming up. So we'll be talking about that. But anyway, check out my Patreon. You can find me on social media at Instagram and Facebook at Jack Purcell Inc. INK. You can also find the Faces and Heels podcast on Facebook at Faces and Heels, Instagram Faces and Heels podcast. And then we got this character here all over the internet.
I am Louis Perry. You can find me each and every Monday night with that Wonder Woman Jamie Dolan on the Angry Geek Show, and every Tuesday night right here live with my tag team like no other, my brother from another mother, the one and only ink slinging Jack Purcell, right here on the Faces and Heels podcast. I am Louis Perry. That is Jack Purcell. We have a major announcement coming up on the Faces and Heels podcast too. Make sure you tune into the Facebook page. Make sure you tune into the Instagram page, because when it hits, it's going to hit, and it's going to hit hard. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. I am Louis. That is Jack, and we'll see you guys next week live. Thank you.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.